Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. There is so much going on. First, you have some really good news. Obviously, the markets were up and maintaining at a pretty nice level. But the really good news is Arbitrum. Arbitrum has hit $150 billion in Uniswap trade volume, the first to ever achieve that particular space. So that's big. We should be paying attention to that because I think Arbitrum's on its way back. Something else that needs to happen with Arbitrum, everybody's talking about meme coins. I think the way Arbitrum is moving now is the perfect way. Don't introduce a lot of memes, introduce a lot of work, introduce a lot of use cases, introduce a lot of value. What else is going on? Everybody and their mama in the crypto industry is criticizing the SEC. Why? Overreach. A lot of the major names out there, Coinbase, Kraken, you name it, they're saying the same thing. They're saying, listen, with this new onslaught of, I wouldn't say sketchy, but probably very light cases that they're bringing. I mean, what's the case against Robinhood, right? What's the case against Coinbase? And I say light only because there are other cases they could be pursuing that, would have more value. The amount of volume that happens among, in the crypto space pales in comparison to the regular financial industry. So the amount of effort, the amount of money being spent to fight against the industry instead of working with the industry is causing a problem. And everybody's speaking out about it. And it's not going unnoticed that there could be some overreach here, and that's what people are starting to say, including lawmakers. So that could be a problem. Because I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Gary Gensler is working for a couple of senators and doing whatever it is they bid, and I think that's going to wind up being his downfall because that's not how it's supposed to work. Right. I think the U.S. government needs to step up, take a pragmatic approach to creating some real rules that will really help the industry continue innovation and, grow our country. That's really what we're looking for. I mean, if you look around the world, you see a lot of countries that are hurting right now. And we've kind of got to, go with the flow, as they say. What else is going on? The SEC is also delaying its decision on Invesco Galaxy Ethereum ETF. That's the spot ETF for Ethereum. And they're delaying that decision for another couple of months. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. They're going after Ethereum. They're trying to say Ethereum is a security because they know if they go after Ethereum and they say Ethereum is a security, that will damage the crypto market in a major fashion. Will it keep the market down? No, I think the market would recover in a major fashion. And what would most likely happen is the United States would be left out in the cold. That's what I think would happen. That's really what I think would happen. I mean, it's already happened a couple of times where South Korea, their fiat was used more in crypto than the US dollar. It's already happening. The United States is already sending signals that if you want to do business, if you want to be an innovator, you need to leave the United States if you want to work in the Web3 space. That's really what it's sounding like. And I hope there's some kind of reversal. I hope there's some kind of way that lawmakers can say, well, not everybody in this space is shady, right? The same way that not everybody in banking is shady. I just want you to look at how many banks have consent orders against them or other governmental compliance issues versus crypto, and how deep they are, how long they've gone on for, and how little they're actually prosecuted. That's what I mean. Let's really take a step back and really understand, how that's all working. What else is going on? Germany's first digital blockchain issued bond is about to happen, and it's expected to raise about $100 million, or 100 million euros. That's huge. That's huge. I don't know how to pronounce the bank's name. I think the first word in the name is Kreditanstalt. that we'll just call it KFW, and that's going to happen now. They expect it to close. What is it, later this year or early next year, something like that. But the idea of issuing that bond using blockchain tech, that's the key. You have companies out there, financial institutions as well as non-financial institutions, leveraging blockchain in a major fashion. Now, they can say we're leveraging blockchain and we're not leveraging crypto as much as they want. And I'm not saying they are, but a lot of companies have. Like Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan is like, oh, I hate crypto and, it's a scam, whatever. But you created your own coin for JP Morgan, right? You still work with other crypto companies, Uniswap, Avalanche, Uniswap, Aave, and Polygon, rather, along with other banks to do DeFi. So I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, they go hand in hand. It's the same thing. Whether you create your own specialized blockchain tech based on existing blockchain tech, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So the more I hear people, crying about it, kicking and screaming, the more I think, yeah, well, why don't you just use what's there? Because it's probably better than what you're going to create. And then you almost always start with somebody's platform to begin with before they make their own. So I'm just saying. Something else that's going on. America's top crypto mining companies saw a dip in April in terms of mining, how much they mined, with anywhere between 6 and 12%. Now, also, these mining companies are bringing on more equipment, with a couple even doubling in capacity. And the significance of that is they had a certain amount of capacity before the halving event. Once the halving event happened, obviously they still required the same capacity, but they were mining 50% less, or a significant portion less, right? So if 900 Bitcoin were mined previous to, there were only 450 mined thereafter. So a lot of companies are gearing up and trying to increase their capacity for numerous reasons. What else is going on? But the Binance CEO, this is the first time hearing about this. It should have happened a while ago, but the Binance CEO is actually coming out and saying, listen, here, Nigeria, you need to let our people go. I think we're starting to find out that the case against the Binance executives in Nigeria might be a little, what's that word? Frivolous, light. Either way, it just seems shady, right? Just seems shady. I need to see more information come out of that, but I'm maybe they have a case, but I think I don't know that case is real. You know what I mean? I'm getting the feeling that, people are being pushed, or the company is being pushed around, and they're holding people hostage over it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I agree with that. Something else that's going on, there's a bill going on right now providing tax clarity for Digital Assets Act. And it's being discussed right now. It's being worked on right now. What's in the bill, I don't know yet. I'm hoping to see if, they make a public release and go try to read it, get the salient points of the bill. But it's raising concerns over blockchain security and anonymity. So I think what's going on with that bill is kind of clear now in that, a bill is not necessarily taking a pragmatic approach to the whole situation, to the whole industry. It's kind of like you have all of these rules and regulations for, normal finance, but you don't have it for this. You even have it for fintech, but you don't have it for this. You're not willing to sit back and say, well, the world is changing and we need new rules. It's kind of like, no, we don't want you to be here. We want you to get out. That's pretty sad. That's pretty scary if you think about it. That's really scary when you stop and think about it. I think there were a couple other things that I had wanted to touch on real quick. The CFTC chairman is saying, listen, there are going to be new regulations coming out about crypto, and then we're going to crack down on it. And I don't think he's saying we're going to crack down on the industry itself, but we're going to crack down on those that would seek to do harm. And I think the government needs to take that kind of a stance, right? They don't want another FTX to happen is what they're really trying to gird against. I think they should lead with those kind of comments, right? Like that would be more helpful and more understanding of the industry. Stop creating animosity and start showing that, hey, we're going to work with the industry to make things right, to make things better. That's what I would be doing, right? That's kind of what I'd be thinking. Something else that happened is the inflows from yesterday seem to be about $217 million in. That's not bad. That's not bad. Now, in Hong Kong, it took a week for them to get in $250 million. In a day, United States, 217. But again, Hong Kong is in its infancy, and they haven't opened up to mainland China yet. So I'm waiting to see how that plays out. But this is good news because it's the second day in a row that Grayscale has seen inflows, more inflows than outflows. So they're in positive territory for yesterday. So I'm sitting back and I'm kind of going, that could be a good thing. I'm not going to speculate on whether or not Grayscale's, shares are going to stop being sold so much, right? But what I am going to say is not bad that it stopped for at least a couple of days, that we're seeing more in than out, because that downward pressure on Bitcoin has been killing the market. Stifling the market is a better way of saying it. Is there anything else that I wanted to bring up? I think that's it. So you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. Boom. Let's see. Okay. So we already know that we're expecting PPI and CPI next week. This week, not so much. We're getting a lot of talk. The Fear and Greed Index has gone from 71 down to 68. That's probably because of Robinhood, the Wells notice against Robinhood. And the problem with the Robinhood Wells notice is nobody knows what it's going to be. Nobody knows. Robinhood doesn't know. Like, what did we do wrong? What are we selling that we did wrong, right? Nobody knows. They never tell you when you get a Wells notice. It's only, we're thinking about taking you to court. Okay, over what? Over what? Just that practice alone disgusts me. It should be, hey, we think you're doing this wrong, and we can work with you to try to alleviate that. We could even put in, some oversight on that, right? We can do things like that. But what I'm not seeing is them doing something like that. Instead, they're saying they're coming out with threats first. They lead with threats. It's not good. That's not good for the industry. And it's horrible for innovation. Absolutely horrible for innovation. For, the total volume locked right now, we went from 118 down to 115. Okay, again, probably affected by the Wells notice given to Robinhood. Right now, we're still, trading at the top, at the very top, the very tippity top of my blue band, which goes from 57,686 to 63,714, and we're currently trading at 64,57, thereabouts. Just saying, we're trying to. And what did I say before? I said yesterday, we're probably going to hit a certain level, and then we're gonna probably stair step going up. We're probably stair step going up, and that's actually not a bad thing, because you get consolidation and you get a nice pop. You get consolidation, you get a nice pop. So I don't think that's horrible at all. Looking at the big board, you can see who's down and who's up. Bonk is down big. Matic is currently down big. Everybody else is down a little bit, but look at that. Don't look at the red as much as you look at what the numbers are right now. So yeah, you're down. ETH is down right now, only because it was at in the 3200s. Bitcoin is down right now, but that's only because it hit 65,000. See what I mean? So take it all with a grain of salt and start looking around. But do pay attention to the ones that actually are up. Bitcoin Cash, BNB, Sol, XRP, Arbitrum. Right? Pay attention to the ones that actually are up. Render is up, right? Because they're a part of the DePIN space, which is, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Pay attention to those things, and the reason why Fetch AI is up. The reason why you want to pay attention to those things is because that's starting to show you what areas, right? What industries within the crypto space are going up. DePINs is going up, right? The infrastructure networks, anything having to do with infrastructure Artificial intelligence, that's to me is a part of infrastructure, just a specialized piece. Those things are going up. I would expect Chainlink to go up, and I don't see that at the moment, right? I'm expecting there to be a pop for Doge and shit, right? There was duplicative news for Doge saying that, hey, you can use Doge to buy certain things at Tesla, but that was already there. So that wasn't really news. Somebody just repeated it again later on. So that didn't make sense to me, which is why you're not seeing a pop now. I think you're going to see a pop later on with those two because they're both used globally. That's the big deal. You have to look at what kind of trade volume, not just the trade volume, but what kind of trade volume. To be in the top 25 coins, you've got to have some real trade volume. You've got to have some real trade volume. So that's what I'm paying attention to, is how these projects are being used, leveraged, and how they're recognized around the world, right? If I just want to look at the numbers going straight across, I'm looking at Bitcoin year to date at 5017, right? Over the past 7 days, 0.89%. So these kinds of things, I'm kind of like, wow, what's up with that? But you start to pay attention to what's going on and everything else. And that's why I kind of look at it and kind of go, we have an opportunity here for consolidation. Get in, right? I'm getting in right now. Just snatched up some more Bitcoin. I think I snatched it as like 63,512, about there. And the reason why is because I'm always going to put money into Bitcoin, always. And then it's a determination on how much money I'm going to put into altcoins. Whether it be large cap, medium cap, small cap, depends on where I'm going to put that money. But I'm really looking at anything with regard to infrastructure, anything with regard to data movement between, the digital world and the non-digital world, like Pith, like Chainlink. I'm looking at things like that, right? And I'm looking at speed, because I also want to pay attention to buying in now on networks I think that are going to be used for day-to-day transactions. I went to the store, bought a carton of milk, paid with, Solana or Hedera Hashgraph or whatever it was. Went to the store, got it, paid for it, boom, moving on. That's what I'm looking for. So I figure if I start getting in now with those particular kinds of coins, those particular kinds of spaces, when it comes to mid 2025, the end of 2025, when things are really flying high, I will have made some money. Will I dip into some meme coins? Maybe. And we'll talk about that tonight with the members only video that happens every night at 8 p.m. on YouTube, and as well as on growmybag.tv. Anyway, this is Eddie Joe and Crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you have a good one. If you have any questions, join the community and maybe get your questions answered. Have a good one. Bye-bye.